Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. So I want to make a little video today regarding the show that just happened this past weekend because I thought the judging was extremely good for for the whole show, but specifically for the top two girls. And it was very interesting because it was the same head judge as it was 2 weeks ago, and these girls. So Ashlyn beat Ashley 2 weeks ago, and then this past weekend Ashley beat Ashlyn. So same head judge, opposite placings for the two girls, and I want to show you what I saw. So this wasn't, this is not maybe what the judges saw. This is, my own opinion. I just want to make that clear. So, I'm making this video because I got a lot of positive feedback the last time I made a video about the 2020 Olympia, and maybe you can learn something, or just see my perspective on it and why I think it was so well judged. So on the left here, we have Ashley, who won the show this weekend. And on the left here, we have Ashlyn, who came second. So on the right, Ashley came third here 2 weeks ago, and Ashlyn came second 2 weeks ago. So Ashlyn beat Ashley in these pictures. So Ashlyn was the winner here, and in the opposite for the left picture. So let's go to the first show where Ashlyn beat Ashley. I know it's complicated if you don't know these girls. Most of you probably do because they have very similar names. So I try to do as best I can. So this is the front pose that Ashlyn had at the show 2 weeks ago. This is the one that Ashley had here. If you compare Ashley, you can see that she was much fuller 2 weeks ago when she lost to Ashlyn. And, I kind of prefer her flatter, to be honest. Her front pose with her third place finisher in second could be better. She's kind of pushing out her glute a bit too much, and it kind of takes a lot of the focus of the front pose away from everything else, and kind of puts it all in the glute. And I looked at a lot of the pictures from FBC News Online, and her arm is extended out, kind of like the teapot pose, which the judges said they do not want anymore in the front pose for the bikini girls. Her front pose is much better. I think it would have been a little bit better if she put all of her weight on her glute leg here and extended her foot a little bit more. It would have exaggerated her X-frame a little bit more. But her arm position here is much better. And overall, the glute on the left here where she won is not nearly as dominant as it is here. You can see here it's like 2 times the size. And here it kind of just flows in the physique a little bit more. So, this front pose is definitely better for her. And her coming in a little bit flatter actually helped her because she does have very, very big legs. And when it comes in super, super full, they kind of, they look a little bit big for a bikini, in my opinion. So let's have Ashley here. So Ashley looked really good in both shows as well. I'm going to show you what I see. So Ashlyn, she was definitely a little bit softer where she beat Ashley 2 weeks ago. So on the right here, she was a little bit softer. You can see that on the quad, she's holding a little bit of water in the quad here. And her quad is a little bit bigger. Her front pose is good here, but I think it would look much better if she was able to hide her quad in the front pose, maybe changing her foot position here because it does take a lot of the attention away from the rest of her body here, especially on the show this weekend. 80% of her front pose is her quad here, so that needs to be hidden, I think, a little bit more, and she'll be able to do better. Also, you can see here her feet are a little bit close this past weekend, and it kind of takes away from her X-frame. And her hair is in front of her body here, and it works for some girls like Janet. But with her, you can see that she's a lot better of an X-frame when her hair is behind her physique, and you can see like the full length, of her shoulders, and it kind of goes into a really nice X and V frame here. Versus on the left here, her feet are a little bit too close, and she's hiding her shoulder here, so it kind of doesn't exaggerate her X-frame. And she is short too, so she needs to really stand out. So hiding certain body parts of her physique is definitely not ideal for her, especially since her quads are so dominant. She definitely can't be hiding her shoulder here, or else all you're going to see is the quad. So I'm taking you guys to the back pose now. I'm going to show you what I saw from the difference between the two shows. So Ashley has ridiculous glutes. She's one of the best set of glutes in the world, definitely. You can see here, this was a show 2 weeks ago here on the right, and she definitely was a little bit harder compared to yesterday. And she's pushing a lot more on her back here. On her hamstrings, kind of exaggerating the shape of her glutes and kind of pushing the skin of the hamstrings against the hamstrings, which is making her look a little bit tighter. To be honest, I don't mind that pose at all. I think it looks really, really good on her. But I think The feedback could have been that she might have been a little bit too tight in the hamstrings here, because you kind of see like the separation between the quad line here and the hamstring and the adductor here. So her back shot here is phenomenal, but the feedback could have been that she was a little bit too tight. Here she's standing up a little bit taller. You can see the difference here in the waist. She's a lot more arched 2 weeks ago here when she came third place, and here she's standing up a little bit taller. She's not pushing back her glutes, not nearly as much, so they kind of are a little bit smaller. But once again, Ashley's legs are very, very big and so are her glutes, so it doesn't necessarily play against her when she doesn't push back as much, because kind of looks a little bit more even with her upper body. So her upper body flow with her lower body flow is extremely, extremely good here on the left. Versus her right, I can see the judges saying, you're a little bit lower body dominant when she pushes back a little bit more. So, yeah, basically the left would be a little bit better for her, I believe, and that's why she was rewarded. Ashlyn, so this is where she lost to Ashley here on the left versus the right where she beat Ashley. Clearly, Ashlyn's a little bit softer here on this show that she beat Ashley. But her glutes are a lot fuller. You can see here, like they're popping on the side here. She's a little bit softer in the legs, but it's not bad for her because she's already like really hard and she has very, very dense muscle. So her coming in a little bit softer doesn't play against her. Plus her glutes are a lot fuller here too. Here too, her glutes don't pop as much as the last show, but I mean the conditioning looks pretty damn good to me. And yeah, there's not much else you can change about this. This position. One thing I would like to critique, I think, her hair, on the left here, her curls are very, very tight, and you can see it on her front pose too. Let me see if I can find it. So her curls in her hair are extremely tight this past weekend, and I think it looks better a little bit looser, to be honest. That is my personal opinion, so, do as you wish with it. But yeah, that is my opinion. I think it would look definitely better if she loosened her curls here to benefit her overall physique and kind of give her a little bit like softer look versus like very hard and tight. So yeah, that is my feedback for the show. I thought this show was really, really judged, especially since it was the same head judge. And the two girls placed opposite of when they, compete against 2 weeks ago. So it's always like a cool thing. You're kind of like, well, why did that girl win 2 weeks ago and not win now? And I think it was very fair considering, what I saw and what the judges saw. So once again, this is my opinion only, and I didn't get this information from a judge or anything. So if you like this video, if you like these type of videos, let me know. Maybe I'll do them more often. And hope you enjoy it, and hope you have a great rest of your week.